everyone, I'm Loki from the Dyspraxia system, and in this video I'll be covering the checklist of dyspraxic symptoms. As I said in my previous video explaining the basics of dyspraxia, I'll link that video up there and maybe here if I can find out how to do that on the screen. So yeah, let's get into it. All these symptoms are listed in a book that is written by dyspraxic people who have dyspraxia, in collaboration with other people who have dyspraxia, and I'll put it down below, the name of it. It's only available as an ebook, but it is easily readable because it's also made to be readable for people with dyslexia. At least I find it easily readable. So yeah, if you want to check it out, you can see in the description what it's called. So yeah. First, we have the symptoms related to gross motor coordination, so the large movements. The first one is poor balance, difficulty riding a bicycle and going up and down hills, for example. But also just, standing up requires balance. And I've actually had to practice a lot with this, and I still struggle with it sometimes. Sometimes stand up and I'm like, oh no, my balance is off, or just be walking and my balance will be all over the place. So yeah, it's really annoying if your balance doesn't work. But yeah, that's coordination for the people who don't know that. So the second one is poor posture and fatigue. For example, weak muscle tone makes it hard to stand for a long time, being floppy and unstable around the joints, or having flat feet. Now, I've noticed that I can't stand for a long time before I start feeling my legs. And actually didn't know that was dyspraxia before. I also forgot again that it's dyspraxia. I did read this list before, but forgot that was dyspraxia. I just blamed it on one of my knees having an injury right now. That is mostly healed, but still. But yeah, apparently that can come with dyspraxia. And you can see how that would be annoying, I think. The third one is poor integration of the two sides of the body, which can affect sports such as jumping and cycling. So, what I think they mean here is that, your left and your right side of your body might not work well together. That's why jumping and cycling can be difficult, because you have to use both your legs at the same time. I actually had a lot of difficulty with jumping, apparently, as I've been told by my mom. I had to practice jumping a lot, and apparently I still do it wrong. Apparently, when I jump, I just stand up straight and don't bend my knees, but apparently you have to bend your knees when you land a little bit. Who knew? Been doing it wrong still all this time. And the fourth symptom for gross motor coordination is poor hand-eye coordination, which causes difficulty with team sports that involve catching, kicking, batting a ball, and difficulties driving a car. Now, I do have a lot of difficulties with this, but it has gotten a lot better since I started playing table tennis. I've been doing it for 10 years, I think 10 or 11 years now. And at first I was awful at it. Still can't do some stuff that people who've only been playing it for a year can. But don't let that get me down. Well, don't try to. It might get me down in a moment, but it won't let me stop enjoying the sport. But yeah, hand-eye coordination is fucked up. Next one is lack of rhythm, shown in activities such as dancing and aerobics. Yeah, I don't have a rhythm. I literally don't. I have done ballet when I was really young, but since I was like 3 or 4 at the time, I don't think the dance moves that I had to do were very difficult. But yeah, I don't have a rhythm. Next one is clumsy gait and awkward movements. I think what this means is just what it says, awkward movements. I sometimes do catch myself making what for me feels like awkward movements. It doesn't happen a lot, but sometimes it does, and I'm like, oh fuck. But yeah, in my opinion, what I think it looks like is really weird, really strange, just really floppy and stuff. It's not fun, but luckily it doesn't happen often. At least in my case, it doesn't happen often. But yeah. Next up is difficulty changing directions. So stopping and starting movements mostly. I legit, if I notice that I'm going into the wrong direction, and I have to stop, I really have to reorientate myself again to realize, oh wait, we have to go that way now. Or if we go somewhere that I don't think I know, like a part of the city I don't think I know, but I've been there before, I'm like, where are we? I literally don't know where we are. Where am I? But yeah, changing directions are it's really difficult. It will take me like 5 seconds to change directions. Then next up is exaggerated accessory movements, such as flapping arms when running. If I run, I really be like doing this with my arms. Just, it looks really weird on camera. But I'll move my arms while I run pretty wide, so that it goes along with my leg. So yeah, it might look weird, but it helps me, so you can't judge that. Next up is tendency to fall, trip, and bump into people and objects. You don't know how many bruises I have just because I bump into stuff. I'll know that the object is there, but I don't know that it's like right next to me, or I forgot that it was right next to me or right behind me. So if I then turn, I'll just bump into it, or I'll just be walking ahead and I'll bump into it. The worst thing that happened recently with this was I was walking with friends and I had my bicycle in my hands, and we were walking towards the station, and we had like there was like low what's it called? I don't know, but there was like a low thing in the ground that came up until like knee level. And I didn't notice it was there, or I had seen it, but I didn't notice it was like right in front of me. And I literally just bumped into it and scraped my knees really badly. It was not fun, but it happens a lot. And most of the time, it's luckily just small bumps that I just that don't actually injure me that much, or that don't injure me at all. But it does happen a lot. Next one for this bit is late reaching motor milestones. So, late with sitting, crawling, often not crawling at all, and walking, although some people were early walkers. Now, I don't know how it was in my case, but yeah, obviously that kind of stuff takes a lot of coordination. Sometimes there's still difficulty with sitting up. But yeah, it just takes a lot out of people who have coordination difficulties. But now we're moving on to the fine motor coordination, so the small movements like writing, I think. So inadequate grasp, difficulty using tools and domestic implements, difficulty dealing with locks and keys. So this is not being able to use cutlery, or not being able to like hold a pen. I honestly don't know if this is the right way to hold it, but it works for me. But yeah, sometimes, well, actually, quite a lot of the times, I really have difficulty with getting the keys in the keyhole, even though it's the right key, and I know where the keyhole is, and I just misjudge exactly where the keyhole is. So I'll go a little bit higher or a little bit lower or a bit to the left or a bit to the right, or I just don't use the right strength to plug it in. So yeah, that's difficult. Wait, I might be able to show that actually. It's a random box with a lock, and the lock is for a reason, but I'm not gonna explain that right now. Yeah, like, oh wow, now it goes in smooth, but a lot of the time it will be like, oh, you can't see because of my fingers. It will go somewhere like, somewhat like that. So, just that. Like that. It's really difficult. So, yeah, the next one is poor manipulative skills. Difficulty in managing buttons, typing, tying laces. I actually couldn't tie my laces until I went to high school. So until I was like 11 years old. Because then I really thought, no, I really have to learn it now. Because otherwise I'll look like a fool if I have only shoes without laces. I still don't like doing it. My shoelaces still look really weird when they're tied. They don't look neat and nice like I want, but at least I can do it. Even though I avoid doing it because it takes a lot of time, which most of the time I don't have. So most of my shoes won't have shoelaces, but with some, it's just unavoidable. That's the word I'm saying. For some, it's unavoidable. So yeah, difficulty with two-handed tasks. For example, using cutlery, sewing, domestic chores such as cleaning, cooking, and ironing. Playing musical instruments and doing craft work. Yeah, I probably still use my cutlery wrong to this day. I mean, I use a fork for what a fork's needed and knife for what a knife is needed for, but I don't think I cut the right way. I still press it down a lot, instead of, actually cutting. But it works. So, next up we have poorly established hand dominance. So, may use right or left hand for different tasks at different times. Now, I don't have this. I'm just right-handed, and I use my right hand as anyone would use for it. Well, I use my right hand for any task that a right-handed person would use their right hand for. But apparently it's really common that it's not established. Next is slow or untidy writing, unusual pen grip, pressing too hard or too little, difficulty writing along a line, slow, laborious, untidy handwriting, and in brackets it says dysgraphia. I think dysgraphia is when you can't write well, but I'm not sure. I haven't looked into that yet. But yeah, I actually had a special pen that I was supposed to use until I broke it. But this is how I hold a pen. I think this is wrong, but I'm not sure. But like I said, because of the way I was writing, I actually had to stop writing because it was bad for my hand. And I can't write on a line well. I can't. I had a little card that had two things on it that I had to think about while writing. Because my hand, the way I was writing just was really bad. It looked really bad, I should say. And if I have to write a long sentence, I would forget letters in certain words, or just leave certain words out, like randomly, and then I'll read it back and I'll be like, oh wait, forgot a letter there, forgot a word there. Whoops. It's not the best, but it's gotten a lot better, and I've got some compliments about how my writing looks. Still think it looks awful, and there are a lot of people who can do way better than me, but there are people out there who think my handwriting's beautiful for some reason. And then the last one in this category is difficulty dressing and grooming. Difficulty with putting on makeup, shaving, doing hair, fastening clothes, or tying shoelaces. If I have a button up, it will take me like 5 minutes, maybe, to close all the buttons, just because I struggle with every button. And I didn't brush my hair when I was younger for a long time because it was so difficult. And it actually got into a really big knot that I then cut off because I thought people wouldn't notice that, which they did. But yeah, I wasn't the most smart kid, I think. And not in that way. So next up we have speech and language. First we may have been late learning to talk and may speak in an unclear way. If you have seen my other videos or even in this one, I do sometimes speak unclear probably. I just leave all of that in, to show just how bad I'm affected by this. Oh. Yeah. I had to plug my laptop in. But yeah, I just want to show that all. Because, it is part of my everyday life. And as I said, there was a point where I just didn't talk, even though it was normal for a kid to talk at that age. So yeah. Next up is may talk continuously, repeat often, and interrupt others. If there is a topic or a topic that I really know a lot about and am passionate about, or things will just keep on popping in my head that I need to say before I forget, I will continue talking. Or if people are talking and something suddenly pops in my head that I need to ask or want to say, I will just do that. Doesn't matter if the thing you're talking about is important. I will interrupt you. And yes, I know that can be annoying. But otherwise, I'll forget again. And I might even forget that I've already said that. Then, after that, it's difficulty organizing the content and sequence of speech. You've probably noticed in this video and in the other videos that sometimes I start a sentence and then I don't know what comes next. Even just now. Or how I want to say certain stuff, but I'm like, I need to say this, and I'll be like, wait, how do I actually say this? Or what is the right word? Wow. What's the right sequencing to the sentence? And that can happen mid-sentence. I'll start off the wrong way, and I'll be like, no, this is not the right sequence. It's not the right order of words. I have to redo the sentence now. And then next up we have uncontrolled pitch, volume, and rate of speech. Don't know if I have difficulty with the rate of speech. Probably do. But a lot of people will tell me that I speak too loud. Or I sound angry when I'm not. And I don't notice that. I don't notice if I speak too loud. If my pitch is up, I don't notice that. I also don't really notice that from other people, I think. But for me, it will just sound like I think it should sound. I'm like, then, for example, my lover will be like, shh, you're speaking too loud. And I'm like, wait, I was? I thought I was speaking on normal volume. What? That happens a lot. A lot. And next up, we have unable to pronounce some words. I've already said this earlier, but there are some words that I just can't pronounce. And I know that, and it's really annoying when people tell me that I pronounce it wrong. And sometimes I can pronounce them, but most of the time I can't. Just can't pronounce them. And you don't have to remind me every time I say it wrong. Please don't. Please don't. I know I did it wrong. Please don't remind me again. And then we have the last one in this category, which is difficulty listening to and understanding speech, especially in large groups. Yeah. Sometimes someone will say something and I'll be like, yeah, I heard that. But what did he say? And I'll just hear the words, but I just can't process what is actually said. Or I think they're talking in English while they're actually talking in Dutch, so my brain will process it as an English sentence, and I'll be like, wait, those are not words. What was just said? And then they'll be like, oh wait, they were speaking Dutch. I should listen to them as if they're speaking Dutch, because they are speaking Dutch. So yeah, and some words are just like, what the fuck did you just say? I don't know what you just said. Don't know if this is one of the next symptoms, but if I read a word, I'll have a certain way of pronouncing it in my head, or I just don't know how to pronounce it. And then if it's says a certain thing, but that doesn't wait. It's probably better if I do it the other way around. Yeah. With some words, when the pronunciation is different than the way it's written down, I will not link the two. Do I have an example right now? I don't think I do right now. But if there's too much of a difference, because that's not how you normally would say it, like not normally how you would pronounce that word, or not normally how you write down the word that's said. I will not link the two and I'll be like, wait, that's how you write it? No, that can't be how you write it. Can't be it. I refuse to believe that's how you write it because that just doesn't correlate well. It's not right. How many are there left? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just do the next one and then see how long the video is because it's already 30 minutes. And maybe I'll make it into more. Yeah. Well, I mean, this is mostly what was coordination, and now we can go into the eye movements and the perception. I think I'll leave it here, make the next few categories into their own video. Yes, I know I'm splitting this up into a lot of videos, but there's a lot to cover, and I want to make it into more watchable videos and not like 1 hour long video because I don't think a lot of people will want to watch an hour long video on this and rather watch like 3 or 4 shorter videos. So yeah, these are the symptoms that are related to gross and fine motor coordination, and the ones related to speech and language. I think these are like maybe 20 of the symptoms, didn't count them, but I think there are like 20 or so symptoms in this video. The others I will cover in the next video because otherwise it'll just be too much of a mess. I know I wouldn't be able to catch it all. Be like, what? You said that? What? So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it here. Hopefully you all watch the next video too. It will be going up next Wednesday. And I'll, if you like this video, give it a like. If something's unclear, just leave a comment down below. If you want to see the next video about this, please be sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. And yeah, I'll see you all next week.